This is a presentation of the United States Australian Football League, the USAFL.
The 2024 USAFL field, and we have a Women's Division II game here as the Calgary Kookaburras, who we were going to call the Texas Heat for this game because that's the jumpers they're wearing as they take on the Sacramento Suns here. Brian Barish alongside Dan Sarbacker. There are teams from other clubs that are players from other clubs on this in this setup, and we'll get to them in just a moment. But it's the Heat in the white jumpers, made up of mostly players from Calgary, including Houston and Baton Rouge, who will get the first inside 50. That is Marilena DeMeo from Calgary, who had the kick, and the ball. We have a free kick now. It will go the way of the Suns. The Suns are in the red jumpers, going from right to left, and here is Lizzie Sawyer, president of the Wasatch Wargulls, based in Salt Lake City. Goes up the far side where it's marked in front, and it's marked by one of her teammates there for the Suns. She's putting foot the ball. Goes down in the middle of the ground, and here comes the Heat back in the other direction. Go across. Just bounced away, but we have a whistle as that one was handballed over to Caitlin Harvey. And Harvey will get the free kick here. Harvey will send this one into the top of the 50-meter arc, bounces off of hands, goes down, going to pick that one up and just batting that one along. Now going to pick that one up and turning around there was Jessica Stewart, one of the Houston Lone Stars players. We'll get a little bit more of a proper introduction of the teams in just a moment, as this one is put on the left. It's a worm-burning, finger-breaking, mongrel up-country punt. And don't mess that up or the producers will yell at you. Over on the far side now, Flock was bodied down, going after to get it and picking that one up. The umpire says, give that to me. We'll have a ball up. The Kookaburras are wearing the Texas Heat jumpers. It actually would be a clash because they're the same colors, red and yellow, as the Sacramento Swans. They have players from the Houston Lone Stars and, for the first time, the Baton Rouge Tigers, who brought 4 players. That's great to see, especially the amount of work. They brought a full division.
The Baton Rouge ladies out here, I think, I'm not going to say this right or spell it right, Geaux, Baton Rouge.
Go Baton Rouge.
In the Calgary side here.
Absolutely, and the Kookas, of course, they have been Division I national champions in 2008. They won Division II in 2015, so they are a good side. Of course, Division II winners in 2018 for the Sacramento Suns, combined with Montreal and a couple of other clubs. They have players from a couple of individual clubs here. They have 3 players from the North Star Blue Ox. They have 1 from the Orange County Giants, and of course, we mentioned Lizzie from Wasatch and Tracy McLean for Arizona, and we'll talk about the dynamics of that in just a moment as this one gets sent in up to the top of the square. This, by the way, Women's Division II. There's 5 teams in Women's Division II, and unlike the other division, SARS, there's no grand final. It's just whoever has the best record at the end of the round robin play is declared the champion. The key here is that the first tiebreaker isn't percentage, it's head-to-head. So every game means a little bit more.
As it should. Each team will play every other team. There's obviously no home and away. Everybody's away here at the national tournament. And so, yeah, head-to-head, the first tiebreaker. Should we have another tie, Brian? You've only had one in your whole career behind the microphone, but should we have a tie, that's when you'd go to the points tiebreakers at that point.
Stephanie Frelinger, one of the Baton Rouge players who is here. Her wife, Courtney Mayfield, is also on the field for Baton Rouge, and we'll shout out Leah Cameron, who is an Australian native, really has done the hard yards and getting a lot of women out in the New Orleans area, and of course Meredith Mayer, the last of the quartet from Baton Rouge. Sacramento is a side. We started to talk about some of these other players. Tracy McLean, the lone player from Arizona. Lizzie, Amy Berniarski from Columbus. That's another player that's out there. Marie LaVictor from North Star. You know, they're individual players, but they all are talented. They all have national team experience, either past or present.
Yeah. See sometimes with clubs that aren't able to field full sides, some really talented players that end up combining here at nationals. Again, if you can pass that, and then there's going to be really, really good football that emerges because the players are so talented.
Ball comes in as that one is extracted from the middle of the ground. Just getting that one away, and it dribbles through, going to get picked up and sent forward by Ellen McDonald, the Australia Brisbane native who is heading to uni in Australia after this weekend for next season. And I know she has been a key piece to the puzzle. This is going to go out of bounds. In fact, it's going to be a free kick here. It looks like it's going straight out on the full. It looks like Haley Rattan is going to get the free kick. And Rattan, who has been almost for the Lone Stars.
Yeah, Ellen, a really great little player. Saw her off to uni.
Here's a chance in front, but she was wrapped up quickly by Suzanne Jarmusch, and the umpire crosses in there. The former softball catcher at Texas A&M as a free kick going the other way, and the Suns will have a chance to get you sketch. That is Jarmusch, who is a rookie, made her debut at the regionals, played pretty well in that back line, and a 50-meter penalty has been awarded. It looked like one of the players from the
pulling out your Jewish there. Purzon, I believe.
Yes.
High holidays. So
I hope
atonement for the last year. Is that the
yeah
focus? Yep.
Yeah. To everybody who is easy fast and. Why I'm here, I don't know, but we'll have balls up on the far side.
Not easy for the athletes that are trying to do that.
Absolutely. Those the players who are the Muslim face who do that during Ramadan, you know, and that's pretty. That has to be for the Suns. Be interesting to see how they do up front as the ball gets batted around. Now it goes to ground, getting taken. Grace Thompson, and in fact she I believe it was tackling without the football. That's what it looked like from here, and it was the trailing official who made that call, and so it'll be Kayla Earlbeck who will have the free kick. Don't recognize her name as well. She might be a new player as well, but she gets sending this one into the top of the 50-meter arc. One-on-one contest. It bounces through. Now the question is, was it touched? No, it wasn't, and that's a goal. So give that one to Earlbeck. I don't think anybody got through that on the way through, and Sacramento draws first blood here in this Women's Division II match. The Suns, 1 straight 6. The Coucas, no score.
She's fired up, and she should be. Brian hitting the scoreboard first there. She put her nose over the football, got rewarded when the tackle came without her having possession. And normally you say, get around her, and the teammates run up to give her a high five. She was doing it herself, running up and down the lines, giving high fives to everybody. She's pumped, and she should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, I love when somebody does does that for you as well. Goes to Sacramento State there and plays. I will have to get more on her background as well. But hey, first nationals, I believe, for Earlbeck, and she has herself a goal in game 1. So what can the Kookaburras do here? That's the question. As this one is sent in, going to drop in front, going to get picked up, and here they come, running through quickly is Abby Morrissey. Morrissey's going to run all the way. Or check that. No, that was not Morrissey. That was again. And this one's going to come all the way back.
Too far.
She's
15.5 meters, just a smidge too far.
Now you've gone too far. So a free kick. Hellertown, Pennsylvania. They played they did very well up in the forward line for the Freedom in that final run. And now there's a big wrestling match happening, and extracting the football there was Erica Cormie, another Houston player, as this one bounces free. Going to get picked up, looking for the handball out in the middle of the ground. Dropped the pill and then got harried off the football. Sending this one up high, one-on-one contest, going all the way back. Here is the aforementioned number 4. Also staying with it there was Palacios. Couldn't get it free, but we have a high contact, and again, another free kick given up by the Kookaburras inside their offensive 50. And you want to be careful about that because too much. I mean, they're getting their chances forward, but they're wasting them here in the early going.
Yeah, you want to capitalize on that, not turn it over, right? So few little mistakes or sloppy play there, and their efforts here again. Another forward 50 entry, but you want to capitalize on those.
As Haley Rattan takes the mark, and Rattan will be a little bit more of a better angle here as the umpire moves them around. Rattan strides forward, left-footed kick, doing. It was a Wilbur post. Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. And that is the first score for the Cougs. They go to 1 point. They trail 1 straight 6. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard.
Bad luck there to only come away with a point, but really like the build-up. It was a very quick rebound out there from the boundary. Recognized the big pocket that had opened up for that full forward. The delivery was perfect. Nice diving grab. Just want to see her convert that kick.
Lizzie Sawyer will have a couple of bounces and big boot out to the right-hand side. Sawyer, the former Minnesota Freeze player, was the captain of the USA Liberty side that toured Melbourne in 2017, and now coaching the men's side, and she will be retiring as the men's coach following this weekend, as it will be a free kick. And once again, there's Earlbeck, who earned it. Earlbeck sends this one down the middle, but going and taking the mark is one of the Kookaburras, who has the football in the middle of the ground. 6-1, and then, by the way, on just an explanation on that play, any ball that hits the goalpost is considered a behind. So, and we mean the goalpost insofar as the two of the big posts in the middle.
Yeah, the big posts designate the goal, the major score. So hitting that defaults to the outside zone, the point zone. The point post, the shorter post, hitting that would be a ball out on the full.
Marissa Kinsey had the football. It is 6-1. We're just repeating the score. It is Sacramento 6, Calgary 1. So it's 1 straight 6-1 behind. As the ball gets sent in, the ball will drop in front. The handball's it in. Good job there by Erica Titus-Lay to spoil the play, and the ball will, but not a bad result for the Kookaburras, who will have a boundary throw-in occurring about 10 meters around from their target. The umpire, Angus, will send the ball, thought about it and then lost his balance, sending the ball back to the play. You know, these Aussie umpires, boundary umpires, are really kind of showing us how it's done, and there was a few as Earlbeck was taken down, and there was an infraction off the play there. In fact, nope, the ball was held up, and we'll have a ball up. We'll explain about the umpires in just a moment. Hold that thought. Ball comes back in the air once again. Rattan is in there. Drops free, going to get picked up. Earlbeck is in there once again. Can't miss her with her flowing blonde locks as the ball gets finally cleared out. Up on the far side now, bouncing through. Getting it through is Hutton. Hutton will try to center. Had the football. Another, we of course just had Queens Bowls, a few players. Goes out in the middle of the ground. There's a, but I think going to get pinged for holding off the is going to go the way of the Kookaburras, as giving that one up was Rebecca Harbison.
Geez, that clever little sidestep to free up there on the far side, that was off, just to show the ball, sell a little candy and step free for a kick.
There it goes down the middle. Nice mark in the middle of the ground, and that is Abby Morrissey. Also a Pennsylvania mark.
I love what she did there. She delayed her, which opened up the space in front to take the grab.
And finding a connection in the personage of Amy Berniarski, the lone member of the Columbus Cats. We know Stephanie McKittrick, also the longtime Columbus Cat, watching back home as that one is sent in. Let's see what they can do out of this inside 50. That, I believe, is McLean who sends that one in, but it's gone off to the side for a behind. In fact, it was Alexandra Cook who wears the number 19 for Sacramento. Watch AFL scoreboard. They go to 1-1-7, and it's just one behind for the Kookaburras. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Brian Barish alongside Dan Sarbacker. Great to have your company as well.
Great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. I know it's tough with 3 kids and everything, but we appreciate you coming up and taking the time to be with us.
Yeah, shout out to the wife who's got the 3 miniature humans back home this weekend, and she was a University of Texas grad herself, so it's a little extra bitter. She loves Austin and would have loved to have been here this weekend, but with you.
Shout out to mine too, 4-year-old our home, and she did say she has been saying how Papa was going to his football friend, so there is that as the ball comes spinning back in the play. We mentioned the boundary umpires, and we mentioned Angus. We have Ellen DeVries. To see more of that branching out, especially when you consider so many people there are doing, normally during the season it's volunteers. It's outgoing president John Mills of the UA and Jeff Person and everybody else involved for putting all this together. Matt Nichols is here as this one is sent in by Nadira Smith as the ball goes through. Rattan is going up against Sawyer and the ball goes out of bounds. Good job. Was one of their better players who's returned after a couple of years' absence.
Suns did a great job building up the field there a minute ago. Now Calgary back in the offensive side for them. Want to see if they can hit the scoreboard here. More offensive possession than the Suns, but the scoreboard hasn't shown it yet for them.
One of the Calgary players on this Calgary side, as we mentioned, they've got players from Houston, players from Baton Rouge. As this one is kicked on the, wow, that's a pretty good kick as she took a stab. Her teammates like it, and so do the goal umpire, and the Kookaburras are in front. Watch AFL scoreboard as they go on now to 1-2-8, I believe is what it is. Oh, hang on.
We don't have the scoreboard folks running this for us. We're trying to call the game ourselves, but an absolute ripping torp there. Fantastic kick. Probably about on the 45, and for her, the left-facing pocket there on the east end towards the Onion Creek side.
So watch AFL scoreboard. It's so they had one. So we'll double check that. So 1-2-8 to 1-1-7. We'll double check here. We're relying on the scoreboard, and there's no volunteers for it. Here's Jessica Swart, the mom of twins from Long Island. Oh, she was held up by Smith, and she is a 50-meter penalty because they didn't give the ball back straight away.
Oh, we were talking earlier about mistakes for entering into forward 50, and they were the recipients of one there, which is going to take them inside 50 for it looks probably on the very edge of her range. We'll see if she can make this from that spot.
Nadira Smith with the football. Let's see if they would love to see some players give her a little bit of a lead, but she sends that one in, and it kind of knuckles its way through for a behind, and that now adds to their lead. So they go to 1-2-9, go Calgary, and Sacramento are 1-1-7. Just taking a look, it is 70. Of course, the high is supposed to get into the mid-90s, and these, 70. So this is still, I think, right up until you get to about noon, you're in that good range.
Yeah, those afternoon games are going to get hot. We're hitting mid-90s today, Brian. So finding some shade in between. There isn't much out here. Thankfully, we're in some shade here in the broadcast tent, but going to be a really
season with us, and they came to our up on the ropes, the USAFL, and they are a fantastic partner, and we're glad to have them. And of course, our name sponsor, the presenting sponsor, Tasmanian, who are with us once again. You mentioned Premier Rockcliffe was here as well, and it's great to get with them and to help put this tournament on. As going and picking that one up and sending that one back the other way. Going to hop through 101 contest, going and picking that one up and bootlegging around. Now going forth and sending that one was Harvey. Harvey sends that one across the way, and it is marked. And now sending this one on was DeMeo. And it is marked once again by Haley Rattan. Rattan using her strength. And she
I think we've got end of the half
and
there.
she did, but it's the end of the half. And again, you'll have to beg your indulgence because the people who are in charge of the score. In charge of the scoreboard are also in charge of the horn. So halftime in a very exciting game. They now have finally put it up on the scoreboard. The score at halftime. It's the 8-7 is the score. We are very quickly going to do a halftime interview. Dan Sarbacker has that for you.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Jono Sikradek on here, coach of the Wisconsin Wombats. Nationals, obviously, John, would love to bring in some of your history. You're from Adelaide area, and we talk about the gather rounds the AFL's done the last couple of years, and you probably would watch that with interest and see a lot of sights from back home. Would love to hear your thoughts on the Nationals tournament, the gather round, just the community around football carnivals and the similarities you see in what the AFL's done there.
Yeah, mate. Thanks, Saz. Being here at Nationals, I honestly get blown away at the magnitude and the execution of what I believe is like the biggest footy event in the world. Like, it's unbelievable. Footy carnivals are a bit unique, especially at this scale, but you mentioned Gather Round in Adelaide, which has just been nothing but a success. Getting folks all around the country, into Adelaide, into the hills, supporting local businesses, and I'm biased, but yeah, watching it at Adelaide Oval, and even those regional the regional areas up in the hills and stuff, it's just awesome. And like you said, footy is a community, whether it's state by state, town by town, country by country. Like, being here, it's just unreal. I pinch myself every time I come here.
Yeah,
playing
brilliant.
the best sport with the best people.
Yeah, how good. Did you ever imagine you'd be over in the States playing Aussie rules? What year did you come to the U.S.?
Yeah, it was 2014. And I was up in Minnesota for a bit. Stupidly didn't even know the Freeze existed or the USAFL till I moved to Madison. And then by luck found it via Facebook or something, had a kick, and then 3 weeks later I was playing my first Nationals in Racine.
Yeah, brilliant. You guys won out with the flag last year in Division 4, so super exciting year, and we're regional winners as well. How'd you go in your first game this morning?
First game was tough. We had an 8 o'clock start against the OC Giants. Who put up a really good fight. It was greasy, slippery, warming up in the dark. Haven't done that since juniors. So luckily the hammies and the calves got through it, but our boys, and we're combining with St. Louis Blues this year. And you mentioned last year's Div 4 Nationals. It was awesome to pair up with Jacksonville. So again, you're talking about community. That's what it's all about today.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up again. Multiple sides combining is another fun aspect of this, because everyone's getting a run, and you see these teams pairing up. So the Wombats this time paired up with the St. Louis Blues, both clubs near and dear to my heart, of course, with involvement of both ends of my career. Mm-hmm. Cincinnati and Louisville also in the side as well for you. So bit of community there, right inside this, wearing the same jumpers.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're so fortunate. The Midwest, has really built a really strong network. Traveling for games is tough, but within that 5-hour radius of Minnesota, Chicago, Iowa, the Des Moines boys, we always love seeing them as well. So in the Midwest, footy's really strong.
Yeah, good. Well, thanks for joining us here. We just wanted a little bit of flavor of your reaction and talk about Nationals for those of folks that haven't been here or aren't able to be here or haven't seen this ground and such. So I appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah, mate.
All right,
it.
Cheers. Good luck on the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, fella.
All right, we're going to sign off here at halftime. We'll be back for the second half of the Calgary-Sacramento Women's Division II game.
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Cooper's, Australian made and owned. Cooper's Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Aussie Sports USA, the official apparel provider of the USAFL. Qantas Airlines, the Spirit of Australia, the Australian Consulate General, Houston, Three Cuts Gin, Odin Mortgage and Tax, CyberSolve IQ, the inaugural cybersecurity partner of the USAFL, and by USAFL Foundation. Play on!
Back here at the 2024 USAFL National Championships presented by Tasmania. This is the second half of the opening round of Women's Division II as the Calgary Kookaburras, wearing the white jumpers, going from right to left towards Tournament Central, they trail the Sacramento Suns 1-8. Brian Barish and Dan Sarbacker back here with you as we are underway at a very chaotic situation. Great interview, by the way.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Good fun. I loved hearing Jono's thoughts. Just kind of occurred to me, as we fill up here at the park, how much maybe this resembles the gather round in some ways, where all teams from the entire comp are here for one weekend, lots of games going on, and so it was great to hear his thoughts on that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Of course, that's my goal. I'd love to get to a gather round at some point in Adelaide as the ball gets sent through. Here it come out of the back as that one is cleared out by the Suns, but intercepted there by the Kookaburras. And taking that, we'll find out in a moment. I believe that might have been Doig who has the football, kicks this one in over the top, drops in front of Smith, kept in front, cleared out by Titus Lay, handballs it in, and goes the Flock. Flock has a little bit of real estate here, runs her full measure, goes out to the far side looking for Morrissey, but it's picked off right in front by Lauren Doig. So that's Lauren Doig from Calgary. Has the football in the wing position. Good mark, good weighted kick to find the presenting Caitlin Harvey. Harvey has the football, not Harvey the Rabbit, or else she would be invisible. As the ball gets knocked down, going to get picked up and spinning free. Looking to go into the pocket. It's Minnesota native wins it and toe pokes the ball forward. Here come the Suns back in the other direction. Signing this one up and sending this one into the middle of the ground. And that one is marked and it will come back the other way. And now we're playing a little bit of aerial ping pong as it drops in front. Going to get picked up again by Harvey. Ball gets ricocheted around. Going and chasing after that one is DeMeo. And if she were a sandwich and she were being held, well, there would be a dad joke in there somewhere as the ball gets knocked down. Going to get that may have been kicking in danger, and it will be a free kick Suns coming out with the football is Earlbeck.
Nice rebound by 16, Marissa Kinsey there. Intercept mark on the halfback line for the Calgary side. She's a Houston player, and just a little bit of a stutter delay to freeze the defender. Then she played on immediately. That was a clever way to get the ball moving back forward for them. But the Suns ultimately bending, not breaking. 50 and working on far boundary, it looks like, for a throw in here to work it back up.
And I was talking to Sonny Lavelle. They are pinning their hopes as the next star of the future for Marissa Kinsey. You know, it'll be interesting to see how she
had a look yet. We're seeing some talent here.
And talking about the wind, well, it's starting to gust a little bit. The gusts are at about 6.
Down all our papers here in the media booth. The flags are standing out a little straighter. There is now probably a 1 or 2 goal wind for us left to right on the broadcast, west to east, our tournament central end to the Onion Creek end.
Here is the founding member, one of the founding members of the Sacramento Suns, Helen Mondia, who will kick the ball back into play. She has been around a long time, also a national team player, played in the 2011 International Cup. As the ball goes side now and going to get sent back from whence it came. Big tackle put in there, as staying with the football nicely was Jessica Stewart from Houston, going up on the far side. Houston well represented here, as they aren't terribly far, and then running on. The kick came off the side of the boot, going after that one, and then just kind of playing that one out towards the corner there was Alyssa Schumann, and now going to check it. There's a shot for goal for the Suns. That one goes through for a behind, and they extend their lead on the Watch AFL scoreboard. They go to 1-2-9, and it's 1-1-7 for the Kookaburras. Brian Barish and Dan Sarbacker, glad to have your company, no matter where you're joining us around the world. Thanks to the good folks at Gridiron Productions, who are with us for the second year. They have come all the way from Orlando. They have literally gotten, and probably not in a moment too soon with the weather that they've been having over there, as the ball goes up on the far side once again. And it's been a very interesting situation, as it looks like another behind has been scored, and that will take them. So it's 1-4-10 is the score now for the Suns.
Yes.
The lead is up to 3.
Wind mostly traveling end to end, but a little bit of a cross to it, Brian. And unfortunately for us, it's sort of pinned the ball on the far side. So we're squinting a lot more to try to read the play on the far side of the field. But as you'd expect, the ball getting pinned in there a little bit more by the wind. Defensively, Calgary choosing to work up that side, which makes a lot of sense. But the Suns able to rebound and get a couple of behinds there.
And the other games, by the way, in this division, we mentioned there was a 5-team division as the Kookaburras come to clear this one out. But waiting for it is Christine Flock. Over on the other field, the Quebec Saints, who are paired with the North Texas Devils, taking on the DC Eagles. And the Austin Crows, coupled with the Portland Sockeyes. They're the final team in this 5-team group. It's a round robin. Oh, good tackle. Knees there was the 66 for which is Macadamo, who by the way was just elected after a year off, was just re-elected as Western Regional Vice President of the USAFL. So shout out to her. As Mark is taken up on the near side, as they're able to string some kicks together, are the Kookas.
Yeah. Just as I'm saying, they're building up the far side with their kick-ins. They tried one up this direction, and a second rebound here at the defensive 50. They're backing themselves, kick to kick. They think they can build up this side, and so far it's been effective. They've worked it up to midfield. This kick should take them in 50 or forward 50 entry.
Kayla Earlbeck has been all over the play here for the Suns, but the Cougars will send this one down the line off of Audrey Pring as the ball for the Kookaburras. As the ball goes down, going to get picked up by Earlbeck. Going to go all the way back to knock forward again. Pushing that one forward was Doig. And now back the other way now as they again, we don't have, but looking for Rattan. Bounced off of her head and Lizzie Sawyer's. Ball gets knocked around. Here's Smith. going around, and now the bootleg. Here is the kick up on the way, going all the way back and trying to punch it 3. Smith is there looking for an opportunity. So too is that's Harvey, who had the football, but the boundary line wins out, and I believe looks like a boundary throw-in, and in fact, it will be a free kick. It has been given. Sorry about that. And it is Jessica Palacios. Palacios' distance shouldn't be an issue. And with Swart on the mark, have just pulled that across the face, but it's their first point of the half for the Kookaburras combination. They go to 1-3-8. They trail by 1 point. It should be well, I think they got it backwards. I think it's 10-8, I believe.
I think you're right, Ryan.
Yeah, it should be 10-8. I think they gave the score to the wrong team. So we have 10-8 as the score. It should be Sacramento 10 and Calgary 8.
Little hesitant there. Comfortable, not sure if she's practiced or set shots. And you're right. Finished right, further right, and just for a point there.
Absolutely. As we are sponsors for putting this on, of course, watch AFL on the scoreboard. It reads 10-8, and the ball has the, well, they're going to look about it. It's going to be Erica. Player has been around for a time. Here's Macadamo, who's come up from the forward line position as that one is settled back. Going to get there. Oh, big hit put in there.
Bounding there out of their back, but great individual effort out of the Calgary side. That tackle there allows them to take possession.
Good weighted ball for Nadira Smith. And Smith has the football now, waiting. 2 kicks from goal, especially in this wind. And when you get up under that one, it's a pop fly. Bounces in front, and some contact there, getting held off the football. And it will be a free kick, and it looks like it's going to go the way of Audrey Pring. But
Flock there, I think the recipient of hands in the back or a push there.
And she'll play on quickly. They'll play on quickly out to the near side, looking for Jessica Swart, who picks it up on a couple. Good spoil. Great spoil in there once again by Harvey. And Harvey turns it over as Flock wanted to call. Ain't going to get it. There again is Earlbeck, who throws her head over the football. Going to get handed back, and Earlbeck will send this one down the line. It's over. It'll roll, it'll skip, it'll hop, and going to get it. Staying with it again is Morrissey. Morrissey went to get it. Now is Lorraine Quokka, and then getting taken down off the football. They're going to play on. And I think it's going across the face, and it is. And the Suns add to their lead on the Watch AFL scoreboard. They go to 1-5-11. The lead is 3 points, 1-2-8.
Yeah, a little discrepancy on the scoreboard we're looking at, but we think that's either 1 goal's 4 or 1 goal's 5. So the Suns in front by 1 or 2 now. Earlbeck Flock combining there on the halfback line with a couple of handballs, and then getting Earlbeck getting it to boot. She's got a thumping kick. That ball plus the wind really cleared a lot of meters.
Really did, and in this wind, especially since it's blowing to the right of screen, as we said, the gusts are about 15 miles an hour. I wonder, and I asked Ron Watt this, the former coach of Geelong, when I was commentating with him last year. I said, what is the miles per hour to goals ratio as the ball comes back into play? I believe that was Quokka who had the step there, and that's going to add another point. So you really can't blame. I mean, the Swans are I keep calling them the Swans. The Suns are getting their chances as they score another behind there. They go to what is that now? 1-6, I believe. It should be 1-6-12 to 1-4-8, or is it
5 or 6? We're close. I'd wonder if goals to wind ratio is a meteorological science, or if that's kind of a finger in the air. How's it feeling at the moment?
Yeah, it's like
imprecise.
It's like what's happening here.
But I'd say a 2-goal breeze that we've got at this point. It's stiffened up a bit since we sat down in these chairs a couple hours ago.
Yeah, everything is changed. It's like a new game, a new day. It's completely different conditions because the wind keeps changing. It keeps getting hotter. It keeps changing over the course over the course of the day, and that's why the scheduling where you play during the course of the day. The teams that play now, they're going to have much different conditions when they play again in 5 hours' time.
Yeah, for those listening that aren't familiar with the tournament format, a lot of different dynamics than playing a home and away fixture every Saturday, as most people in Australia would be familiar with. This tournament structure, different opponent in a few hours, different field conditions, the wind could have changed, and what worked for you in your first game is not going to work in the second.
And these women are going to do it 4 times in 2 days because no matter what happens, and I think that's overall really good. Really, the men's teams are generally only going to play 3 unless you make it to a grand final. The women, both Division I and Division II, and we'll see Division I on this field a little bit later on today. They're all going to play 4 games. The women, it's a round robin. For D2, for D1, they're going to play they're going to play the semifinal. The top 2 are going to play in the final, and there is going to be a consolation game. So the biggest thing about this, and I know President April Munn has really stressed this, is the growth of the women's game and is giving them more opportunities to play. As the ball is up on the far side now, and I know you're keeping an eye on it as a member of the new head of the international program. Andrew Donlin is here, of course, coaching Seattle, but also keeping an eye and looking at some potential talent for whatever occurs, whatever the next step is after the Transatlantic Cup, whether it's more players and more tournaments, and we got the Parallel Cup possibly coming back up again. So all sorts of fun things happening.
Yeah, Calgary building up here. Has been a lot of hotly contested football here in the middle of the ground on the far side, but Calgary squeezes away with it here and will award that as a forward 50 entry, just barely there.
Yeah, and here is Rattan who goes back to go forward. It sits up and trying to get away, and good pressure by Erica Titus-Lay, and she's going to earn a free kick there. Good job by the veteran to just wrap up, and that's the thing. And we talk about there's a lot of concerns about the tackling talk about the concerns in tackling in Aussie in gridiron football. That's all you need to do here. All you need to do is pin the arms back, and right after they drop it, and that's going to be given away as a free kick.
Yeah, people often ask that aren't familiar with the sport, well, what's the difference between gridiron, American football, and this? Burying the man in the ground, where in Aussie rules it's about stopping the progress of the ball, and you don't have to put someone to ground to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to end somebody, as I would say. As the side now, here come the Cougars once again, just trying to a goal would put them in front, up by 4 points at the moment, and that's that is basically the situation. As umpire Ellen DeVries from Warrnambool in Australia and doing her postdoc at Yale, and VAFA umpire back home as the ball comes back into play once again and held up, getting knocked forward, and going to get moved forward ever so slightly there by Titus-Lay, who's wrapped up around the ball, going in front. Again, there's Kayla Earlbeck diving in after the football. And going to get handballed in, and there's going to be a ball up out of the middle of that.
Not sure about that call. Umpire training here. I loved his call earlier, where an incorrect disposal in that tackle we were talking about, where she stood her up and never made contact with the boot. Not sure why he called the ball pinned to him there previously, but had the ball up here in a second one just now, inside 50 for Calgary.
They're closer than we are, Sars.
They certainly are.
Cook won the ball out to Rachel Erickson, the veteran from the North Star Blue Ox. She is one of 3 players alongside Marila Victor and Marinella Perez, representing the women in the yellow and the sky blue, one of 2 clubs in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Of course, the other, the Minnesota Freeze, the top seed in Division I, who we'll see later on, running on through to the other side and sending this one off into the pocket there was Pring, is going into the corner now, and the Suns hanging on to this lead. It's still anybody's game with only a couple of minutes to go here, and the Suns trying to start off this round-robin competition with the full points. As Garrett's keeping this one in play, just managing to keep this one in play was Frelinger, the rookie from Baton Rouge, able to get away from the veteran in Luray Cuoca. bounces this one through up on the far side now, and now going to pick this one up and sending this one inside 50, and again looking for Nadira Smith. She tries to turn the ball in off the hands, I believe, of LeVictor, and the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Thumping kick off a halfback, getting Calgary back up into the scoring end. Of course, they've kept pressure here, haven't been able to hit the scoreboard in a while, though, but critical now after that rebound back into forward 50, they've got this boundary throw in the pocket.
Ball comes back into play. What on earth can they do here? They have a chance. Rattan didn't take the mark. Just that was tied up. There was about 4 hands on the football, but here goal will give them the lead. Ball gets knocked down in front. Going to get picked up. Here again is Paul. Getting it out off the hand, through the hands of Frelinger. Now out to the near side. Digging in after it on his horse. They're going in after it. Here is Abby Moore. Sacramento trying to hang on to the victory. Maybe more than a minute to go or so. Here is getting held up there. And, of course, that's unofficial, as that was Elenista and Lamb, the lone Orange County Giant here playing for Sacramento. Gets punched forward. Flock is going to have to chase after it. Then again is Earl back, and she got hit in the face. Oh, goodness. And she is getting up. I think she may have gotten hit in the nose, and she is coming off.
Right in the mush. I think she took one right square in the nose. She headed straight off, so she probably had probably a bleeder straight away from that. And she's been critical for that. Free kick. Oh, this should be a free kick. Well, that was awarded high. He signaled high, but for some reason.
But there it is. So it's a free kick on the far side, and now they go back in the other direction.
Bad luck there with the tie-up and Calgary rebounding here. The Suns had rebounded really well there.
Here they come now on the far side. He trying to get it out, fighting for it, and is that us? There's Lean. Nope, they're going to play on as that one is sent in. Cannot be much time left as the ball gets taken down. Now cleared out by LeVictor. Going to clean bowl everybody. Flock is in there going up against Stewart. Flock won the football. Go down. And the Sacramento Suns have held on to a very tight 4-point victory. They were huffing and puffing were the Kookaburras, but they could not blow the house down. And the final score in the Sacramento Suns 1-6-12 over the Sacramento. A little
bit unlucky that the wind probably kicked up there in the second half. They didn't get full use of it in the first half, but some great desperation by the Suns side there in the second half. Tons of pressure that they withstood in their defensive 50. We're going to talk to one of the defenders. Brian, it's our first women's game we got to call this morning, and that was a ripper.
Absolutely it was, and it was a defensive struggle, but a great job. Start their campaign off with a victory, and joining us here is your Tasmanian player of the game in Erica Titus-Lay. And Erica, I mean, it's great to get one right off the bat, especially when the conditions are going to change a little bit later.
Right, yeah. It was a fun game. We have, I think, over 6 teams coming together, so we're trying to find our groove, and I think we got it.
We were actually talking about that, Sars and I. You look at some of the players that you have. You have Marie LeVictor. You have Lizzie there in the back line helping you out. Tracy McLean. These are all players. Amy is another one. These are all players who are either current or present or past national team players. That has to give you guys a lot of confidence. Even though they're coming from different teams, they're used to working and coming together like that.
Yeah, everybody communication back there to help direct.
One of the things the Suns have always had, and you've been a part of that, Macadamo has been a part of that as well, and now you've got Lizzie helping.
Yeah, well, luckily we have the opportunity to play against Golden Gate quite a bit, so we get a lot of defensive strategy, and I think 6 or 7 now.
And tell me your favorite part of Nationals.
Just coming together, seeing faces I haven't gotten to see, you know, very often, so it's good to mix and see everyone.
And in this case, you played team players from Houston. time you see, so that's what's it. And so yeah, so what is your routine going to be like? What is your mindset now as you can
recover? Talking up, what went well. I think we did really well working together, working on strategy.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Awesome, thank you.
Erica Titus-Lay, our Tasmanian player of the game for this opening Women's Division II match as the Suns. Coming up next here on Cooper's Field, we go to Men's Division II. 24 USAFL National Championships presented here on USAFL.com. Thanks to Gridiron Productions.
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Cooper's, Australian made and owned. Cooper's Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Aussie Sports USA, the official apparel provider of the USAFL. Qantas Airlines, the spirit of Australia. The Australian Consulate General, Houston. Three Cuts Gin. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the inaugural cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. And by USAFL Foundation. Play on.